This episode of the Fourth Line Podcast is brought to you by Utah Elite Hockey. Utah Elite Hockey is based out of the Peaks Ice Arena in Provo, Utah. They offer private coaching, youth camps, high school skates, and adult skills classes. There's no better way to prepare yourself this offseason for the coming season. Be sure to give them a follow on Instagram and send them a message if you'd like to sign up for a camp or private coaching. Thanks. Enjoy the show.
Want me to go out and fight, I will. If you want me to go fight for you, that's fine. I'll be down here on the fourth line.
Hello, everybody. This is the Fourth Line Podcast. I'm Ozzy.
I'm Ian.
I'm Krew.
I'm Jeff.
We got some guests here today. Is it Krieger? Is that what you say?
Krieger.
Krieger. My bad. I didn't even ask that before we hit record. And so these guys are some legends. We're excited to have Krew with us today. Krew is probably not going to talk about himself because most people don't, but Krew's absolutely just dominating. How many points did you end up with this season? It was in the hundreds.
I think it was like 180 or something like that.
180 points.
Oh
That's
my
insane.
gosh. And how many games did you play? 65. 65 at the 179, and then including high school, he played like 5 games, like 204 or something like that. So
It's insane. So no shortage for goals here. You know, like every night is stats night for you. Leading scorer at the national championships. Captain of that team that won the national championships, if you heard about it, is the U14 Mustangs team. Also leading scorer at that tournament. Also scored the game winner in that tournament, in the championship game. So, I mean, this is legit to have you here because you have such a bright hockey future. So before we start, tell us how you got started into hockey.
I mean, it was kind of just my parents, you know. I think when I got on the ice first time, I just loved it. So they've been taking me to skate ever since, and I've loved it. So, yeah.
nice. How young were you when you first got put in skates? He was probably about 2. Brittany used to take him skating all the time, his mom. Just down at the Peaks. We were there every Saturday.
So awesome. And so from there, I imagine you did the Learn to Play program, you know, just the classic, just floating around there. And then as you grew up, what organizations did you play in?
I played for the Grizz and then Mustangs and Wasatch Renegades and then Mustangs again this year.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with that Mustangs program? Because I grew up on this side of the state, and so they've grown a lot. Mm-hmm. What do you think is attributed to that?
I think just the kids, you know. I think we're really dedicated this year, you know. I think everybody wanted it for each other. We had an all right coach, so he definitely helped. But I think everybody just wanted it, so it was great. And
so even at different levels, because I know the 18s team made it to nationals, and then I believe the 16s team lost in the state championship, correct?
Yeah.
To the Grizzlies to go to nationals.
Yeah. They might have been Park C.
Okay.
But they're in there.
I mean, they're just right there. It feels like, and that's a really cool thing to see. And so, a lot of guys making the drive up to Ogden now.
I think so. We got Eli Vest and Jack Smith on our team.
From Springville.
Yeah, they got.
So you got some Utah County people going up there with you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Way cool.
Sick. And with the team that you're on, why do you think that so many of those boys bought into the system, to the brotherhood, and where do you think that all came from?
We've been playing with each other for 5 or 4 years, so I think everybody's just comfortable with each other, you know. We're just clicking together this year. It was really fun.
Cool. As a coach, what did you see with the boys? Yeah, we've been around most of these kids on and off for 4 years since some of them, Boston Russell played with him when he was 6, and so a lot of them have been together forever, and I think it's just a great group, right? And I think that's what it takes around here is a great group. Ogden's great, right? So we really excelled in Ogden, but yeah, it's just a great group of kids that have always been together. They play on the Grizz together, WR, and then Ogden again. Most of the team played for me at 12U. So, yeah, it's a great group, great set of parents too. And that's what it takes too, right? You got to have parents that will buy in to the coach, to the system, and let us do our job. not, getting in our face or anything like that. So the parent group is awesome, and that's huge.
Yeah. And that exactly what you said, like, parents are a big part of it. Like, obviously, like, you want your kid to have fun. You want them to enjoy the game and enjoy being with their team and stuff. But the behind the scenes, the politics that kind of go into it as well, like having a good group of parents that are also on the same page, like, it just makes it a lot easier to build a culture and a system that everybody can buy into. And, like, that's where the trust really comes in. And that's the biggest part, is trust on and off the ice with coaches, parents, players, all the way through.
For sure. And we have relationships with all the parents. They all have my number. They all text. I'm a volunteer coach. I don't get paid. I'm not perfect. We do it because I want to. Fortunate to coach my kid, obviously, and his friends. And that's just what it takes in Utah, right? Like, Utah's still growing hockey. And to have these big paid coaches is great and all that. But we're still a learning state, right? And so for me to be able to give back, like I said, I've played juniors, I played midget AAA, I play this, I play that, but I don't care about that stuff. Like, I care about Krew, his group, his friends, the parents, and that's just a fantastic part of what we have going on up there. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for us, this is the end of the road in Utah, but I think that team up there still is going to go, and I think they have another shot at going to nationals.
Yeah,
totally. And that's important as a coach to leave that, right? They're going into, the new coach has been coaching up in Ogden forever, so they're in great hands. I think it's probably the best 16 new coach they could ask for up there, and so it's going to be a great team again, and they're gonna make some noise.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely believe that. I think there's a great group of boys that are going to go far again next season, and they have a lot of experience under their belt, so now they get to carry that with them moving forward.
So tell us about the decision to move, to go to a prep school. So you're going to, it's called Notre Dame Academy, correct?
We haven't made our decision yet, but my top two right now are Mount St. Charles and Notre Dame Academy.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And so what's the appeal to going to like a prep school like that? Like, why is that something you want to do?
Just because it's built around hockey, like, hockey's the main thing up there, and it's just gonna help me get better, give me like the next level. So
very cool.
Yeah.
And what kind of exposure did you need to get looks to go to a prep school like that? Like, what was the path to get there?
I'll answer this. The path is honestly like a lot of summer stuff, right? He's going to these elite tournaments. Winter season's great, like it is, but a lot of it is connections you make through the winter season or the summer stuff. But that's kind of the path, and obviously, when you're in the national spotlight and you do well, people are going to be attracted to you. But even before that, he probably had 20 plus offers. So it's just getting on people's radars and staying there.
Yeah. That's awesome. So how old are you, Krew? People want to know how old you are.
I'm 14.
You're 14 and you're already getting 20 plus offers. That's insane. That's insane. So talk to me about your development. When did you really start to want to get better and like play at an elite level? And then once you decided that you wanted to do that, like, what got you there? What clicked? What changed?
I think really in 12U in Ogden, I just wanted to make it to the next level. So I've just been working out, going on the ice as much as I can, doing a lot of drills, skating with him all the time, doing a bunch of drills, do a lot of lessons with a lot of guys. It's just trying to get better.
Nice.
That's actually a question that one of our followers asked. It's Cody Conger, if you know who that is.
Yeah.
He just said, like, what's your typical workout and how'd you get your shot to where it is today? Like, what does that look like for you?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't do that much stuff for my shot. It's just like something I have. It's something. It's just. I do work out my arms and stuff, but I think I've just always kind of had it,
He had a good shot, and when you see these people go to stick and puck, right? They see a lot of scrimmages. Well, what he'll do is when we go to a stick and puck, and you're there, he'll take 300-400 shots, right? It's repetition, it's different things. Like some of it's, just getting the puck, don't stick handle, you just shoot it, one timers, everything like that. So he's always been good at working at that. I don't think he gives himself enough credit for taking those shots, because when you go to a stick and puck or in the basement, you're taking a couple hundred shots outside. You know, in the winter we have a rink in our yard, and he'll go out before school and shoot, and he's always on there, and you know, and I think that's what it takes, right? He's been fortunate that somehow he has had a great shot all the time, but it's due with work too. Time put in when he was younger, working on one-timers when he's 8 years old. You know, back then at 10U and under, you couldn't take slap shots, right? But you're still working on it, right? Just because you can't do it at that age, you still gotta work on it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think more kids, if they go to stick and puck, they should be taking 200-300 shots, right? We're just doing scrimmages, right? I hear a lot of that, well, I go to stick and puck. Well, what did you do there, right? Like, ice time is great, but at least half of it should be set towards working on your skills.
Totally. It's kind of like the idea of just going to the gym to run on the treadmill. It's like, that's great. You burn some calories, but are you like improving? Are you getting stronger? You know, and I think it just reminded me what you're talking about is like how Connor Bedard basically had to reinvent his shot when he broke his wrist. Mm-hmm. And it's like that. I mean, his shot didn't just happen, you know, and that's like when you were saying that, you're like, oh, well, it kind of just happened. I was kind of sitting over here, like coming from a guy that doesn't have a shot, like, you know, it doesn't just happen that you have that ability, you know, it's the hours that you put in. And so talk about off-ice stuff. So what does training look like for that? Because I think that's another thing that players that are at an elite level like you do that is a little bit different from everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little like set up in my basement. It's not a lot of stuff, but I do what I can as much as I can. So I think that's the main idea of it.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I stick handle a bunch.
That's awesome. Yeah. So in the basement, are you doing mostly like body weight stuff? Are you doing weights, or what kind of things are you doing?
I do weights most of the time, and I'll try to focus on like explosion stuff with weights. You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just try to get faster with the stuff I have, so yeah.
Very cool.
Is that something that your dad taught you, or were you watching videos on YouTube how to lift weights? Like, how did you jump into that?
A little of both, you know. Yeah, I mean, mostly him though, so.
Totally. Yeah, look at him, he's jacked.
Yeah. Another question that was asked was, how many times are you on the ice a week? What does like your average week look like?
Probably every day. I'll probably say 5 to 6 most of the time. If I have something going on, it's at least 3 to 4. So yeah, just try to get out there as much as I can.
Love it.
Are there days where you're like, man, I really don't want to go shoot, or I don't want to stick handle, or have you always just kind of been like, nah, this is what I love to do, and I'm just gonna go down and do it to have fun?
I mean, yeah, there's been some of those days, but it's persistency, you know. I mean, I still love it. Those days rarely come. I mean, I just love it so much. It's so fun. So a lot of our listeners are around your age or a little bit younger. For those hard days that you have where you're like, man, maybe I want to go play video games or go hang out with friends, like, but I should go shoot a little bit or stick handle a little bit. Yeah. How do you get over that hump? What pushes you to, you know, be consistent and persist? I think thinking if you really want to make it to the next level, thinking about if you really want to improve or if you're just like here just to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. Do you know Schaefer, Gordon Carroll?
Yeah.
So we had him on the podcast a couple of months ago, and that was one of the things that he talked about as well, like how bad he wanted it. Mm-hmm. And then his dad actually told him like he didn't make a team, and he was like, are they right that you didn't make it? And he was like, no. He's like, okay, we'll prove him wrong. And that was one of the really cool things, like hearing a kid his age, you know, Schaefer's a lot younger than I am, and he already had that mentality. And same thing coming from you, like you just have that mentality of like, I want to get to the next level. This is what I want to do, and I love it. And even on the hard days, like I just got to push.
Yeah,
it's just that's pretty awesome being as young as you are, having that kind of mentality, and like the influence that you have on like your buddies that you're playing with, and then a lot of younger players that look up to you as well. Of like, okay, like on the hard days, like I just got to do it. I just got to push it. That's really cool, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Just a question that I had was like, For you, as far as your future goes in hockey, where do you hope this ends up? Like, I'm sure you'll say the NHL, but like as far as paths to get there, there's a lot of different ways to get drafted, and like what do you hope it looks like?
I hope it goes WHL, then D1 is what I'm hoping for, then the NHL. So yeah.
Totally. So you're excited about the NCAA change that you can go, you can do both. You know why? So for you, why do you want to go play college?
I just think the players that have played there, just like Cole Hudson and stuff, great players. Obviously he's getting drafted and stuff. I just think it'll be cool to play there. So yeah. Totally.
Like the transition a little bit going from college to NHL versus going dub to NHL is a little bit different, right? That's cool.
Yeah. So if you had to pick a team in every organization, let's say like WHL, NCAA, NHL, what would be your dream path? Like what teams would you want to play on or get with that?
My dream? I'd probably say like Spokane for WHL, then D1 probably Boston University.
Very cool. NHL, is there a certain team or is it just...
Leafs. I like the Leafs. Yeah.
Very cool.
He's never going to win a cup. I'm just kidding. Very true. No, you'll be the change. You'll make it to the Leafs, and you and Matty Nyes, Oscar Matthews.
Yeah, that's so cool. Let's talk about Nationals for a second. So, you guys, unreal run. We were watching the score and everything, and the very first youth team, according to the USA Hockey records, that have ever won a national championship from Utah. And it's cool, like I think like 2 months ago, we had a USPHL team, like a junior A team, win a national championship, but that's a little different. I mean, there's like 4 guys from Utah there, and there's the Europeans, it's different, because your team's homegrown. Lots of Utah boys on there, a few people that have moved here, but for you, what made that team so special? Like when you guys got to nationals, like obviously you weren't just there for fun, like you believed you could win, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So had you played a lot of those teams before?
No, we haven't. We hadn't played any team except Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you met them in the championship, and so what was that like?
It was really funny because like we're a little bit of rivals, I want to say, but it was kind of funny that we met in the championship. I thought that was just really cool.
Yeah, totally. And so tell us about the path there. I mean, because you were just blowing teams out. I mean, apart from one game, I believe that was a little bit closer. It was like a 9-1 game. I mean, you had 16 goals in 6 games, and so obviously it's like that pretty high scoring games, right? And so like, what was the path like to get there? Was there at any point where you guys like starting to realize like, oh, this is our tournament, like we can win this,
Yeah, I think it was right when we showed up. It just felt a little different from every other game. I feel like everybody was just ready to go.
So tell us where Nationals was at and what day you guys got in and what day you guys started games.
Kalamazoo, we got there Tuesday, right? And we played Wednesday.
Nice. So get in Tuesday. I'm sure you guys check into the hotel. Do you guys have like a team meeting where you guys kind of get together and talk it all, or do you just kind of let the families roll in and you guys met Wednesday morning before the game?
Yeah, we met Wednesday before the game and kind of just let everybody do their own thing on that night,
Cool. And then going into the first game, what was the locker room like?
We're really quiet before those games. It was something else that I haven't experienced yet. It was really cool.
Interesting. No music going, just like...
No, we had a speaker, we just didn't use it.
Wow.
And so for you guys, like, you won some big tournaments. Like, obviously you won the local tournaments, but you guys won Silver Sticks this season, right? And that's a big deal to win one of those as well. And so, like, not that you guys have been there yet, because it was Nationals, it was the first time this season, but you've played some high-stakes games. And so this one, it just felt different. Like, game 1, Nationals, this is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about, like, everything else that happened on your trip. I mean, most tournaments, like, like, you're playing mini sticks in the hallway, you're going to the pool, you're goofing around, people bring the Xbox, you're playing Chell. Was it like that at all?
I mean, we played some Chell, but, I mean, we had a couple team dinners, but it was just really fun. It was it was super fun experience.
So were you like was there a lot of like shenanigans going down at the hotel, or was it more like focus?
We're pretty focused. I don't think like this whole season we've done any of that stuff, so we're pretty focused. Yeah.
Okay, so like maybe other teams should believe in bedtime, and like, that might be the key to success here, is just locking in a little bit more.
Man, you could not have paid me when I was 14 to be disciplined like that in a hotel. We were having way too much fun.
Not even.
This is why you're gonna go.
Not even when we were in our 20s could we be disciplined at a hotel, dude.
That's pretty awesome. So Wednesday, first game, you guys are locked in, dialed in, no shenanigans. Who do you guys play? How's that game go?
I think it was like New Canaan Winter Sports Club or something like that. They were a great team, obviously. I think we had a rough first period. I think we were down 1-0, and then just after that, we were just locked in. You know, we knew this was our chance to prove like we're the real deal.
Sweet. And then I'm assuming Thursday you guys had another game.
Mm-hmm.
Who you guys played then?
Was that I think it was the North Carolina.
Yeah, it's North Carolina.
North Carolina, like Golden Bears, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
They're a great team too. They had like a 7-foot tall goalie, so yeah.
We seem to run into a lot of tall goalies.
Yeah, there's a lot of tall goalies.
Like it's
kind of a trend now.
Yeah, it was crazy to me. Like just
That's insane.
Even through the season, you're like, how do we get to tall goalies every time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, how are they that tall at 14 years old? It's insane.
That's crazy.
Nice. Okay, so you guys won Wednesday, won Thursday against North Carolina. Friday, another game?
Friday we played North Dakota.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, first game we played Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Had a big one in OT, and then North Dakota in the semis.
Which, I mean, we put them. We came out. They came out flying. Like I was a little worried, and these guys just switch.
Mm-hmm.
Power play is fantastic, and we got up on them, and they just stopped believing, and we just kept going.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know how you guys compare size-wise to other teams at Nationals, but in pictures at least, you guys look pretty short, not, like, super tall compared to some of these other teams.
Yeah.
Are those North Dakota teams still just enormous?
Yeah, they're pretty big. I mean, we got some big kids, probably like 5, but, I mean, obviously by looking at me, you know, I'm, like, probably the average height on our team. So, yeah, we aren't the biggest team, but, yeah.
Totally. And so, were any of the teams just trying to, like, bully you out of the games? I mean,
I think we forgot about Fort Wayne Forest. That was a fun game, 5-0 win. But they were just trying to hit us. You know, that's not our game. So we just beat them on the scoreboard. So yeah.
Yeah, we have some big boys. We don't play that style of hockey. Mm-hmm. We're more of a run and gun. But we'll take it to them physically if we need to. Like you're not getting to the net just without anybody touching you. But we're a pretty offensive, fun team, right? That's fun hockey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have our defensemen jump up all the time, and everybody's okay to rush. And so, like I said, I mean, we got, Colton, Kai, Kendry, Brooks. They're probably 6 foot easily. And so they can put some pressure on some kids.
They can dish it back.
Yeah.
it's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So talking about that, I believe it was the semifinal game, the OT win. Is that right?
That was quarters.
Okay. So talk a little bit about that one.
It was a really fun game. We were down 1-0 pretty early, and then I think it was Brooks that had the tying goal, and then I had the go-ahead goal, and then we were down by 2 in the third period, and I had 2 to tie it back. And then I assisted the OT winner to Brooks. Yeah, it was fun.
And how did that feel? Like getting out of a close one? Were you guys just because from there it was kind of you guys won the next one by 3-5.
That was
right,
5-2,
and then championship you guys won 3-1, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So like, was that just kind of like a moment where you just looked around? You're like, we can do this, guys. Like this is 2 games. That's it. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because like that game was kind of cool, right? Because when you had the OTs, you got the other teams lining up against the glass, and the rinks are right beside each other. So we had the next set of both 2 games just line up on the glass, and as soon as you score, they don't know who we are, but like everybody's celebrating. You're like, man, that is awesome. That's really a moment.
Yeah.
Was there any point in that third period where you guys were down by 2, where you like had like any doubt, where you're like, I don't know if we can come back from this?
No, we had a Zam in between the second and third, and
So you actually had the shorty before we went in the third.
Oh yeah, I had a shorty before
so
we went in, so it was 4-3 going in, and then I tied it up early in the third. I think everybody just like knew like we aren't gonna lose. This is our time.
Yeah,
totally.
And that's huge. Like to get a goal right before the end of the second, kind of change a little bit of momentum. Yeah. You guys are going, put them on their heels. That's pretty awesome. And that's, I think, like going back to like your mindset, like that is huge to like not have that doubt, to know, hey, I'm in control of this game. I can flip a switch and go. And it's really cool what you said. It's not just you. You know, you had Brooks with you. You had a bunch of other guys that were with you as well that like allow you to do what you do best. Yeah. And everybody has their role. And I think that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, obviously your dad being your coach, but knowing like our system's going to work. We have the right players. We have the running gun. Stay true to what you know, and like everything's going to work out. Because we see a lot of kids your age where, you know, you go down 2 goals in a big important game and it just falls apart from there. Kind of like it was North Dakota in the semifinals. I mean, they just kind of, what you said, they fell apart after you jumped on them early.
And we are lucky. Like we have 2 great goalies, right? And we play 4 defensemen. So if you look at those 6 games, 4 defensemen all year, and you look at that, right? And we only play 9 forwards, right? So everybody is just, you know, they have a role, and they all do it, and it's crazy, right? Like our defense are so they basically run themselves. Like it's amazing, and they're so mature. They just go play the game. We don't have to, you know, get on them to do it, to hustle. Like it's just great. And our goalies, I mean, they keep us in every game, right? Like we don't give up a lot of shots. We like to, you know, keep the puck in the other end, obviously, but yeah, having that back end is huge.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said too about not playing into the other team's game plan. You know, you talked about how I think you said it was Fargo that was pretty physical, and they're trying to just take you out of the game physicality, and not giving into that, and just recognizing, you know what, like we don't need this. We're a better team with speed anyways. Like just focus on our game and we'll beat them with our game. Because I feel like a lot of times in youth hockey, and especially in high school, teams tend to do like the eye for an eye thing, where it's just like, well, we'll just play exactly the way they're playing. If they're going to shove us around, we're going to shove them around, and that takes them out of the game, you know. And we even saw that in college. Like we would fall into that playing against Utah State every time. Like they just knew, they're like, if we push their buttons enough, they're going to break, and they're not going to be disciplined. They can send us, you know, we'll send them to the box, and vice versa. You know, we did it back, but I feel like that's a really important thing to acknowledge as a player. If you want your team to win, you need to be able to recognize the other team's games, right? Like whatever they're gonna play, like if you can focus on that and your own game, it's gonna change things for you. So
So tell us, Krew, what is one of your favorite hockey memories that you have so far?
I have a lot. I'd probably say winning nationals. I think that's the top of the list. So yeah, just because of the group that I did it with, you know, been playing with them for a long time. It was a great experience, super fun, so I'm grateful I had the opportunity.
I have a question that's been asked on Instagram by a few different people. Who's your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate?
I don't even know if you can even say this.
I have no idea.
This is a trick question, you're not supposed to answer it.
You're supposed to say, I love them all equally.
Yeah, I do like them all equally. They're all great people, so yeah.
And that's a great thing about the group, right? Like they get along.
Yeah.
We don't have any inside locker room issues. I'm not disciplining kids. I'm not doing anything. Like it's a mature group, and that is just fantastic as a coach. Like we have Eric and Phil and Shane, like we're coaches, and we're not disciplining kids. I'm not chasing them to get ready in the locker room. They know what to do when they get to their ring. They, you know, every different kids lead the warm-up every single time. Like, it is a great, mature group that, yeah, it was awesome. They're an awesome group.
Mm-hmm. What do you think prepared you for that? Because being young, I'm sure you weren't always like that. I'm sure there were times where it was like, all right, let's put your skates on, sit down. What do you think, like, taught you to, like, when I show up to the rink, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to dial in and I'm going to do what I do, along with your teammates. Like, who taught your teammates to do that?
I think it was mostly just led by example, you know. We've been around each other for a long time, so I think we've kind of just picked it up from each other. So, I mean, we kind of play for the guy next to you, so that's pretty much the whole idea of it.
Let's talk about being a captain for a second, because we love to talk about leadership on this podcast, because leaders, I feel like they set the tone for the entire team. Yeah. They can make or break it, you know. I feel like we've all been on a team where the leader broke the team, but we've also all been on a team where the leader made the team. And so for you, like, what is the pressure that comes along with being a captain and even like being a coach's son, you know, like, what's the pressure of that?
It just means a whole lot more people are watching you. I try to do everything I can for the guys, you know. They made it easy on me. I couldn't have done it without them. So, yeah, it was just super fun.
Nice. As being a leader, and like for, you know, your brothers who have looked up to you and supported you, and also for like younger kids that look up to you, what would you say are like 3 important qualities of being a good captain?
Obviously, leadership, leading by example, and always doing what you can for the other person next to you. Just doing what you can to help them, you know, whether it's saying like, hey, it's okay, you can go get them next shift, you know. It's always just trying to help them do better, you know.
Yeah, well, that's huge. And that's like one of my, so we have an insane story of when we were playing Weber State one time. It was at home, we were at Peaks, and it was a very similar thing. We had a couple of players that just had a hiccup, just a mental mistake that cost us. We went down by a couple of goals pretty early, and instead of coming back to the bench where it could easily just been like, dude, come on, like, you got to be better than that, like, kind of pushing them down. Our captain did a really good job of, hey, don't sweat it, forget about it, we need you to come back on your next shift and do what you need to do. And we slowly trickled back into that game. Not kidding. We scored in the third. We went up, and it was their assistant captain, took off his helmet, and was just smashing it on his head. It was insane. It was the
craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was nuts. And like at that moment, we all looked at each other on the bench, and we were like, we got it. we got it. We're winning. Like,
composure.
Yeah. So like that leading by example that you talked about, like that's super easy to say. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to do the right thing. It's another thing to go into those moments where you're like, hey, I could be really mad at you because you messed up and it was costly, but dude, I love you and I care for you and I know that you can do better, so let's do it together.
Yeah.
Forget about what you did, move on from it. And like, I keep harping on this, but it's because it's so impressive. At your age, to understand that is huge, and I think it's really important for like younger listeners to see that and mimic it as well. Make it a part of your character of who you are, because it's not just hockey. You know, that's something that's Oz and I have been able to experience now that we're away from the game. That's life. You know, when we go to work, you know, people are gonna make mistakes at work, and that's okay. We're human. It's gonna happen. But instead of beating each other up and, you know, having a toxic locker room, quote unquote, now you can go say, hey, dude, I'm here to help you. Whatever you need help with, let's fix it, let's move on, and like, we'll get better together. And from there, like, your workplace is super fun and makes things a lot easier. So I think that's super awesome that you've learned that so young, and like, you're not just saying these things because you're on a podcast. You're not just saying these things because you know it's what you're supposed to say. You're saying these things because that's who you are, and that's who you've been, like, that's what you've molded yourself into. And that's going to take, that in itself is going to take you a very, very long way in your career. Obviously, you're a disgusting hockey player, but you're also an awesome human being. And that's really important for any hockey player, you've got to be a great person. You've got to be someone that either a leader that everyone looks up to, or you've just got to be that cool guy that's in the locker room that everybody wants to be with. So it's pretty awesome seeing, like, getting to know you more and who you are, along with this incredible hockey career that you've had.
Well, I think there's something to be said about, like, it's not just skills that, like, skills don't just happen, right? Like, obviously some of us are more athletic than others, but, like, skills don't just happen. Your shot didn't just happen.
Yeah.
Same thing with leadership. You know, it doesn't just happen. Like, that is learned. It takes time to learn that. And I think the sooner you can learn how to be a leader and to contribute and to get rid of ego and to, you know, put pride away, it really will bless you on the ice. But also, like Ian said, like, for the rest of your life, when hockey is over, like, that's going to be a lesson you're going to need as a dad and as a boss one day. And I think it's important, and that's one of the cool things about hockey, where a lot of sports teach this, obviously, but I think hockey especially, like, with how many little skills you have to develop day by day, just to get to a high level, it teaches you what it means to work, and that, you know, there's no one you can blame but yourself if you don't have those skills, or if your shot isn't there. It's like, well, maybe you should have worked a little bit harder at those stick and pucks, you know. And I just think it's cool that at such a young age, kind of like what he said, that you've been able to recognize, like, this is on me. You know, my future is in my hands. If I want this dream, I can get it. You know, I can reach out, and it'll be all my fault if I don't get it, but also it'll be all me if I do. You know, I'll be able to have worked hard for that. So, yeah.
So pretty cool, man. So what does this summer look like moving forward? What does summer look like? When do you have to make a decision of, you know, staying in Utah, moving out of Utah? Like, what does that, what does that picture look like?
You know, I'll answer this. We don't have we're hoping to make a final decision by next week sometime.
Wow, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, there's always teams in the thing. One, like we talked about, we really like the Notre Dame people. Mount St. Charles at 15, only AAA, just won the national championship. At his age, they're 4th ranked in the country. So when a team, program, academy calls of that caliber, you gotta listen, right? So that's where we're at. Like, I fielded 4 calls today. Like, it's great, right? It's great, and everybody's nice to you, and obviously because they want them. But yeah, that's hopefully the next week or so.
Pretty sweet.
Does anything about that make you nervous? Like, going into a new room full of guys you've never met from a different place, and
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So what's the move? Like, how are you gonna go into that? Like, what's the mindset?
Just try to do my job and be the person I am. Hopefully they like me.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure you'll be inspired.
Well, I mean, based on the feedback, it was funny. Our literal second episode we recorded, there was teammates of yours commenting, like, "Dude, where's Krew? If you guys are gonna interview youth players, like, you got to get Krew on here." And I think it's safe to say, like, you've been able to develop a reputation for good in Utah, you know, and I think that's like, I never played at a high level, like a level like you, but I think that's the thing that every team needs. And even if you get there and there's already a Krew that's already scoring like 16 goals at nationals, it's like, I think every team needs the glue guy that everybody loves to be around, you know, the guy that's going around giving you stick taps, even if you have a bad shift. And that's something that is in your control. You know, you might not be able to affect what line you're on right away or how much playing time you're getting right off the bat, but I think your attitude and being a good teammate, you know, which it seems like you already are, is something that is in your control, and that's so awesome. So does it make you nervous as a dad letting him go?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, he's prepared for it. Like, when he goes in the locker room, like, he's playing in Philadelphia for the World Cup. Yeah. You know, in Philadelphia in first weekend of May. You know, he might know some of the kids, but he won't know a lot of them, right? And like, fortunately, to prepare him doing this, he's been doing that since he was 8 years old, right? Like, especially now when you get older, right? When they get tie their own skates, you don't go in the locker room, right? You just drop him off and he goes in there and he's on his own. So yeah, obviously, like, I haven't missed a practice or game, you know, me or his mom. And so it's like, it's going to be tough, probably tougher on us than him. He's going to go there, he's going to do his job, he's going to have fun, he's going to enjoy it. And it's going to be a great experience. And he's earned, wherever he ends up, he's earned that spot. And I think he'll run with it. Like, we're not worried about that at all. Obviously, being 15 when he leaves, there's going to be tough times, right? But it doesn't mean we'll be out to see him quite a bit. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it worries me probably more on his parents' side than really what he's worried about, right? Where he's like, Dad, I do this all the time. I go play with these kids. I walk in this locker room. I go on this line. So I think he's a little bit more prepared for it than what he makes it sound.
Totally. That was kind of a conversation we had with Schaefer, because he's like living in another country and he doesn't have his driver's license yet, and he's like, I'm just excited to like get a car and start going on dates. And it's just like, wow, you kind of forget that they're kids, and that's another thing. I don't be afraid to be a kid. I know it might feel like you're being pushed into this new phase of like moving out. I remember when my first time moving out, I went on a mission for the church, and I remember being like, this is crazy. And that's one of the coolest parts about being young, is like, there's no shame in calling your mom or calling your dad, just being like, I just had the worst day. I had the worst practice of my life, and there is going to be people at home that still love you and care about you and want to hear from you. And yeah, don't forget us when you're famous.
No, it's an exciting thing. Like, moving, like, it is a little nerve-wracking moving away from home, but like, you're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a blast, and you're always a phone call away. I remember the first time I left my parents for hockey, and it was bittersweet. I'm very close with my family, so it was tough. But the group of guys that I met, the team that I was playing on, the memories that I made with them, like, they took care of me. They were my new family, and I had a blast. And every time I got to see my parents and my sisters after that, like, it was just like I had never left. It picked up right where it left off. So just go enjoy it. Go have fun playing hockey and doing your thing. Having fun in the locker room.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to listen to a little bit of music while you're in there.
Thanks so much for coming on. It's been awesome to get to know you, and we're all excited to put your name out there for our new hockey fans in Utah that are looking for people to cheer for from here. The truth is, Utah's been a hockey state since long before we got an NHL team, and it's cool to see like a generation of you players that are like not just good for Utah players, but like you're good elite players like in America, and we're all excited for you, and we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you.
Congratulations, by the way, for the championship win. Unreal season. Keep it going. Keep representing Utah.
Sure.
Yeah, and thank you all for listening. If you got this far, you're really patient. So we appreciate you guys, and this is the Fourth Line Podcast signing off.
If you want me to go fight for you, that's fine. I'll be down here on the fourth line.